Yeah.
Antioxidants are key because they help with things like oxidative stress. If you get too much oxidative stress, you will have cellular damage. If you have too much cellular damage, you can have organ damage. So it's a very serious thing. But the good news is, if you eat more antioxidants in your diet, you can actually, put this into check. And turmeric is really high on the scale, and so is oregano, which is also in here, and rosemary. So, we like to say this is not just a turmeric formula, yeah, a turmeric product. It is a
Yeah.
formula for inflammation support. The good news is there's a lot of things in nature that actually support the inflammatory response, but we had to choose basically the top five out of everything, and we have found that the literature is clear. Um, Cannabis, when done right, is fantastic. In its hemp form, almost no THC, no psychoactive component there, completely legal, but also just really, you have these receptors, you have this endocannabinoid system in your body that when it's activated, it has amazing effects to basically cause a balance or a homeostasis in your nervous system, and all the communication that's going on there, including pain signaling. So we love adding that with these other ingredients.
Welcome everybody to episode 165 of the Healthy Habit Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Dayan of Healthy Habit Medical Center, and we're checking in here today with North American Herb and Spice, the Director of Education at North American Herb and Spice, Mr. Steven Harkins is with us today, and we're going to be hitting on inflammation and how to use turmeric, oregano, rosemary, ginger, even enzymes like bromelain and papain if we have time. And hopefully we'll even be able to squeeze in black seed oil into this discussion. Steven, welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's good to be with you once again here.
Well, before we went on, we were talking about this transition here into the fall, winter. By the time this airs, we'll be probably in November, into the tail end of fall, heading into winter. So what do you want to get us started with here? The stage is yours, my friend.
Well, since you'll be watching this in November, but all of the time, just a good friendly reminder, let's practice gratitude. We have a lot to be thankful for. It's easy to get negative this time of year. We got the election. I mean, by the time
Right.
you see this, the results will be out. No matter what happens, you've got to take care of yourself. You got to keep your stress in check. You got to keep your inflammation in check. So hopefully this will be a very relevant message for you today.
Right. A lot of times when people are inflamed, they'll feel more stressed and anxious and depressed, right?
Oh
So,
yeah.
right. So that's a key root cause they're finding more and more here when it comes to mental health, stress, adrenal dysfunction, and just worrying and being depressed all the time. So, where do you want to start us off with a good formula that someone can consider that will attack inflammation, but also potentially then help support the immune system? Because we know that if we're inflamed, the immune system won't be able to fight as hard.
Thank you. Yes. So that is a great backdrop. I was going to mention immune support, the immune system, the effects that stress has. You've heard, inflammation can cause stress, oxidative stress, if we're being technical, and stress kills. Stress affects the organs, affects the heart, immune system. You're already going into a time where you're going to have less sunlight. You're more prone. The immune system is more prone to receive attacks, and keeping the inflammation at bay is a huge part of this. There's inflammatory responses that go on throughout the body as a response to all of these kind of things that hit us. The immune system, when it's under attack, has an inflammatory response of its own. The adrenals are involved in this response. Your nervous system is involved. If your child puts their hand on the stove and it's hot, you're going to have an inflammation response. So what we're talking about today is these herbs that really support your response, your healthy response to inflammation, help you deal with it, help you manage it. And there's some wonderful herbs out there that don't have some of the side effects that are associated with the other drugs that are out there. And so I think right off the bat, Turmeric Power Plus or the Canacurmin, if there's anything else you take away from this message, we like these formulas. So what we've done differently at our company is we've said, hey, inflammation is a huge problem. People have acute inflammation where they just, something happened, they stub their toe, or they're accident prone, they're hurting right now. And then there's chronic. You've been dealing with this situation for years. You may have been diagnosed with something. You've got joint pain throughout the body. It's
Right.
ongoing. And so we definitely want to just not give you just turmeric. We want to emphasize the importance of turmeric today, getting it in its nature, its natural form, what turmeric can do for the body, its inflammation and beyond. But also, we want to talk about inflammation in different areas of the body, and you may have a different strategy depending if you've got gut situation, lots of inflammation there, or if you've got, let's say your liver is really bothering you, your heart's got inflammation, or your brain. There may be different things, but the formula that has the Turmeric Power Plus, that actually includes several inflammation support agents: turmeric, rosemary, oregano, ginger, and black seed all in
Mm.
one. And if you want to kick it up a couple notches, do the Canacurmin. That adds the raw CO2 extracted hemp oil, and that's going to be excellent for the neurological situation and chronic situations.
Turmeric Power Plus, everybody, right straight from NorthAmericanHerbandSpice.com. You can see up here at the top. Can you hear me, Steven?
Yes.
Perfect. You can see at the top right here we have the ORAC, ORAC, which is basically a measure of the antioxidant status or strength, the antioxidant strength of the food or the product that we're discussing. Like blueberries are really high in ORAC, but not like this. This is giving you 35,000 per dose. And if
Very
you're
high.
if you're listening through audio, through Spotify or through the store right now, Customer Shopping and Healthy Habit, just go talk to Stan, the demo man, and he'll show you guys Turmeric Power Plus. People coming in every day, Steven, looking for turmeric. Some people pronounce it turmeric. Some people pronounce it turmeric. We're talking about the same thing, folks.
Tomato,
So,
tomato.
yeah, so here it's a wild and raw product, Power Plus. So it's going to be supporting joint, heart, and digestive health. Keyword is support. We're not saying hop off your methotrexate if you have rheumatoid arthritis and your arthritis physician prescribed methotrexate for you. So it's just a way to potentially add it into your formula. A lot of people do take turmeric in addition to methotrexate and other autoimmune types of drugs. So where else do you want to, let's dive even deeper now into Turmeric Power Plus before we dive into the Canacurmin and others. This has the turmerones in there, and it's high potency doses. So tell us first about this ORAC, 35,000 per dose.
Yeah, ORAC means oxygen radical absorption capacity. It's a measurement of antioxidants.
Yeah.
Antioxidants are key because they help with things like oxidative stress. If you get too much oxidative stress, you will have cellular damage. If you have too much cellular damage, you can have organ damage. So it's a very serious thing. But the good news is, if you eat more antioxidants in your diet, you can actually, put this into check. And turmeric is really high on the scale, and so is oregano, which is also in here, and rosemary. So, we like to say this is not just a turmeric formula, yeah, a turmeric product. It is a
Yeah.
formula for inflammation support. Antioxidants are a huge part of keeping inflammation in check, and that's why it's important.
Yeah, and you were saying, Stephen, that we also have, it's not just turmeric in here. We have the ginger, rosemary, the micellized wild organic oregano, of course. There's even extra virgin olive oils in there, since that helps absorption of turmerones and curcuminoids. And even rosemary, oregano, ginger, they're all absorbed better. These are spices. Then they work better when you add a little bit of good, healthy fat with it, correct?
That's right. And that's the beauty of the formula. Absorption of turmeric is one thing that all manufacturers of supplements have to solve. And we try to do it in as natural way as possible. And we do know that traditionally turmeric is consumed with fats. And that is how you get the benefits, whether it's golden milk or a stir fry where they're using some cooking oil, some fats, or some cheese or something like that. So
Right.
you do olive oil and black seed, which also supports your inflammatory responses, are the perfect choices here as a base in this, as a carrier. And then, of course, you have the turmeric is the big daddy. It's in this formula. We
Yeah.
actually, source is really important to us. And so we highlight it with turmeric. We're using protected forest preserve in India. It took us years to get this source, and it's actually growing wild on its own, unfarmed and handpicked. And you get a really high curcumin, original curcumin content. Curcumin is the main active compound that's been studied to support your inflammatory response more.
That's interesting. Yeah. So imagine, folks, if we're calming inflammation down again, we're going to be looking at immune support, potentially skin health benefits, mental clarity, because they're finding a root cause in anxiety, depression, stress, and poor immune health is inflammation. So it's hard to fit all that on the label, right? If you're able to control inflammation, you'll be helping a lot of aspects of health. So this comes in sublingual drops and gel caps.
That is correct. Yeah, you can do even the oil, which is kind of rare to find, but you can do both, either or. If you don't want to taste it, you can take the soft gels.
Which oil? You mean the sublingual drops?
Yes, the
Got
drops
it.
that you see.
Yeah, so it's we probably don't carry that one. You're saying it's more abundant to get the gel cap version.
I believe you guys might carry both.
Okay.
Not 100% on that, but the gel cap is what we sell more of. I think most people just, turmeric has a distinct taste, oregano has a distinct taste. If you like herbs, if you've tried these things before, if capsules don't agree with you as much, the liquid's there. But soft gels is easy to do. You don't have to taste it. You can go about your day. Typically, 2 to 3 soft gels is a general amount that people might take.
Perfect. Again, folks, this is Turmeric Power Plus. If you're looking for a good anti-inflammatory product that includes it's a multi-spice formula with really high ORAC score. That's ORAC score, measure of antioxidant status. Remember, if we can get more antioxidants, we can potentially help control inflammation better. So this will give you the turmeric, the oregano, the ginger, even rosemary as well. So there's lots of research coming out on how turmeric and curcumin can help with mental health support too, and stress.
Oh, yes.
And relaxation. It's not just pain and inflammation, or pain and joint health. In general, when people look for turmeric, they're in pain. So that can include mental pain as well, anguish and emotional problems and stress and anxiety too. So that's a Turmeric Power Plus. Come talk to Stan, the demo man, folks, and he'll get you guys taken care of. And ask him about the oil drops as well. If you want to try to get a really powerful version of this, both Steven and I have talked about this in past episodes, that the liquid version of herbs seems to be more powerful, but whatever you're going to be consistent in taking, right, Steven?
Yes, yeah. I mean, both are powerful. Just take it. You got to take it. That's the main thing. And consistency is important. There's a lot of studies. Turmeric is, well known
Yeah.
to do its job. And there's a lot of studies that support it, but it's always, I like to say this, it's multiple weeks. Sometimes it's 18 months. It can be that long. There was you talked about turmeric and how it supports mental health.
Right.
And also brain health. I always like to say it's pain and brain. And as we get older, these are two areas that our older citizens are concerned about. And so being able to take care of two birds with one stone is pretty great and efficient for your pocketbook. So you want to support your brain and work and make sure your cognitive functions and faculties are still going well. Keep the nerves going, keep the brain cells healthy. And it's interesting that it does go through the blood-brain barrier.
Yeah.
They actually did some brain scans of folks in India, and there was some orange coloration going on in the brain. And they were able to show that it crosses through. Not everything can cross through, but that's really good news for us. And even to have some metal chelating properties, things like copper, and that gets in our brain that is not good, too much of it. And turmeric can bind to copper in the brain. And it's really incredible what it can do for you neurologically. And so, whether you're young like me or whatever age you are, if you're in high school and you're trying to pass that test, it can only help you there, keeping your brain strong and then keeping the inflammation in check.
Right. And the rosemary, like you said, the rosemary is incredible.
Yeah.
That's in that formula as well.
Great point.
Like I said, we can spend a whole show just on Turmeric Power Plus. So brain health, inflammation, pain, and that can help the immune system as well. There's tons of research on this. By controlling inflammation, your immune system works better, less sick days away from school and from work. So Next up on the radar here, folks. We're, by the way, episode 165 here of the Healthy Habit Podcast.
Wow.
165. We're just speeding right along, folks, here, coming to the end of 2024. This is going to be our fall winter highlight here with North American and Steven Harkins. So you want to go check out all of our previous episodes and our monthly check-ins with Steven throughout 2024. They're all available on YouTube and Spotify if you just type in the Healthy Habit Podcast. So next up is Canacurmin on the radar, which it's a combination of wild raw turmeric extract and organic hemp stalk extract. Tell us more about this one right here.
Yes, well, it's an open secret now that, CBD and other compounds that are in hemp, can support the healthy response to inflammation in the body. And we know it has a positive outcome for the brain and the neurological as well. So, if you combine that inflammation and brain,
Right.
people that have headaches, that kind of situation, um, this would be fantastic. There's some wonderful synergy here to support your pain. They do it in different ways, and so you've got multiple layers of support, especially with the type of hemp that you would be getting here, because, I'm sure you've seen all the different hemp and CBD products, and it's a little bit daunting. And it got at its peak, CBD oil got so popular, you could go find it in a gas station. But, the way that it's made is what we are concerned with. And what we've found is that, extraction really matters. So we do a CO2 extraction. This is carbon dioxide. This is pressurized air. It does a really good job at preserving all of the 400 plus beneficial compounds that we believe you need together to get the best results, to really activate that endocannabinoid system response. And then by doing so, combining turmeric and oregano and others, really kicking it up a notch. For you chronic sufferers, this would be an excellent addition to your regimen.
It's interesting, actually. The United States is the world's third largest producer of hemp globally. And it's been used medicinally for a very long time, since ancient human beings have been using hemp seeds as food. And even the oldest Chinese medical textbook we have, maybe in the world, it's the oldest pharmacopoeia. It's called the Shenong, describes cannabis as being used medicinally, and it was written around 100 AD. So this goes way back, cannabis and the hemp plant. Give us a little breakdown exactly why that was chosen then, specifically out of all the plants out there. We know it's historical use, but yeah, it goes way back. Why hemp?
Well, yeah, because I guess the bad news out there is that there's a lot of things that can disrupt and increase our inflammation. So we got to be careful. The good news is there's a lot of things in nature that actually support the inflammatory response. But we had to choose basically the top five out of everything. And we have found that, the literature is clear. Um, Cannabis, when done right, is fantastic, in its hemp form, almost no THC, no psychoactive component there, completely legal, but also just really, you have these receptors, you have this endocannabinoid system in your body that when it's activated, it has amazing effects to basically cause a balance or a homeostasis in your nervous system, and all the communication that's going on there, including pain signaling. So we love adding that with these other ingredients. And we've seen some amazing results of what people have done. Our COO, for example, here, he's in his 70s. He had to have a hip replacement surgery, and that is no joke. That can be very painful
Right.
before and after. He was able to get away with just using Canacurmin, and was able to, use that for his regimen of recovery, and not have to dip into any other things. So that's the potency that we've seen with it.
Wow. Again, that's the Canacurmin, canna like cannabis, curcumin like curcumin, found
You
in
got it.
turmeric, the active medical constituent inside of the turmeric herb or plant or whatever you want to call it, the spice. So again, that's a really interesting blend. And then we also have the ginger and what else in this product?
Yeah, I know
Rosemary.
black seed is kind of the base or the carrier, but and that's going to help with inflammation. We love black seed. You've got rosemary. Some studies that this is kind of crazy. I haven't confirmed this, but some people are telling me that there are studies that are showing that rosemary's action on inflammation support could even rival turmeric,
Mm.
and that's via the rosmarinic acid. So people don't think of rosemary for pain, they think about it for neurological, but it does that. Oregano is another thing we think of for immune support. We don't usually give it second thought for inflammation, and yet it's very potent topical and internal to do that. Uh, so this is a genius formula. I think, I learn something new about it every year. But the main thing is through experience and taking it. I have experienced relief. Dr. Dehan, we play a lot of basketball. We're not getting any younger, and the joints and everything, they suffer. They get inflamed. So I take this. I also take the Inflam-eeZ, which is going to be turmeric with enzymes, which helps with swelling and things like that.
So there's a perfect segue then. Maybe we can finish off on that as a trifecta here discussion today from the Turmeric Power Plus, the Canacurmin, and then Inflam-eeZ. So let's dive right into it then. And then we can potentially even hit on the fact that, or you can even start us off here, because this is going to go across all the North American products, because they're all free of pesticides, herbicides, GMOs, and chemical additives. Is that right?
100%. You bet you.
Which is
Yes.
important. People, they take that serious. They won't take a product unless all that's being controlled for. So that's everything. Any product you folks choose from North American Herb and Spice from that collection, you can guarantee that they're all going to be non-GMO, clean, no chemical additives, herbicides, pesticides in the formula, wild raw extracts, and a lot of organic across the board. There are no GMOs. So that's really, really important. So Inflam-eeZ, tell us about it.
Well, see, this is the concept of saying, okay, you know what? We realize that inflammation hits us in a few different ways. We talked about inflammation of the gut, swelling, it can happen, inflamed tissues and what have you. And there's a lot of research around something like bromelain, which comes only a little bit in grapefruit, but mostly from the core of pineapple in big amounts. And it's a fascinating compound. It's actually an enzyme. Enzymes help us break things down, help us create energy and metabolism in the body, and they unlock all sorts of wonderful processes in our body. And so bromelain has over 1,600 articles alone just by itself,
Wow.
and this can be used as an anti-swelling. People that have holding water, retaining too much water, getting that swelling in your feet. It's been used to help with that kind of a deal. Inflammation support at large, and then also digestion situations where you're struggling there. This could be helpful for all of that. Of course, we're putting things like turmeric and ginger back into it. And we really like, when we talk about some of the things that bromelain, what they're finding that it helps, things like, almost like a natural, like heartburn. If you've got nothing else, women during pregnancy, they got to be very careful. Acid reflux is a huge thing. They can't just take anything. They're trying to watch out for the baby's health. Pineapple, very quick, easy solution.
Right.
They have found with allergies, I know it's the fall, though those are flaring up in people, that it can have some use there. Sinus situations, we would recommend our Sinuorega nasal spray, which you could use for the sinuses when they get swollen, inflamed. Something like enzymes would be fantastic. So if you have knee pain, joint pain, consider the enzymes with turmeric. You'd be surprised how that kind of loosens things up for you, gives you a little bit more bounce.
And here comes a quick screen share of Inflam-eeZ Ginger Root Concentrate Healthy Inflammation Response. Remember, the topic of today is inflammation, which is the root cause of a lot of different chronic diseases, including autoimmune disease, arthritis being an example, lupus, Sjogren's, all these different autoimmune diseases that are popping up left and right, even ADHD, ADD in kids, and autism. And then you even have other mental health disorders and depression, anxiety, different keep someone that keeps getting sick all year. They have to constantly be calling out of work because they're sick. Inflammation is a common root cause. Even diabetes, heart disease, strokes, and different types of vascular diseases all have a commonality of inflammation. So this formula here, inflame, like inflamed, and then ease, like it makes it, I don't know, takes the pressure off, eases the inflammation. There we go. This eases the inflammation in the body. And ginger, turmeric. So then how would somebody know that to take this over Turmeric Power Plus, for example? Would it be those two key additions of the bromelain papain?
Yeah, I would, definitely if you have problems with indigestion, if you have problems with swelling, if you have a lot of, joint situations,
Yeah.
allergies, if that's happening so much, this could be good for all of those things. Really, it's going to support the inflammatory response in a broad general way. But you may want to use something like the Turmeric Power Plus or the Canacurmin if it's more chronic, and it's less digestion, and
Oh,
especially
okay.
if it's more neurological, you can go towards the turmeric and hemp.
Great answer. Completely agree because of those digestive enzymes. Well, they're not specifically digestive enzymes, but bromelain papain can give extra GI support.
Oh, little fun health tip is
Yeah.
if you take it close to a meal, it will give you that digestion support. But if you're taking it just for pain, take it away from the meal, and then you'll actually get more support for your inflammatory thing.
Incredible. Steven Harkins, we're coming to the end here. What's a good take home inflammation 101 here? That's what I'm going to call this episode. Where can
Yeah.
we leave our amazing customers and patients of ours listening to this, and people that have never even been in Healthy Habit but discovered us here on the internet, on the Healthy Habit podcast? What do you want to leave us with here today on episode 165?
Well, when someone comes to us and they're just messed up in all kinds of ways and they have health problems like you wouldn't believe, we look at a few tenets. We look at support them with herb, support them with a nutrient. They could be deficient. What do they need a detox? And then also let's put inflammation into check. Today we talked about inflammation. It's something to be aware of. That's half the battle. And then we all get it. So just have something available that you can use proactively and reactively. Turmeric is great. The formula with other inflammation supports is even better. And don't forget about the enzymes. Thank you for the time today.
God bless you, my friend. I look forward to the next one.
You too. God bless.